Space exploration, a Christmas mystery. Endless depths, bottomless emptiness, nebulae, supernovas, star systems, celestial bodies, a boundless expanding mass of dancing atoms, and everything in between. Everything you can see, everything you can't see. The earth, a formless soup. And there was light. Everything came into existence through the Word. From the beginning to the end is Christ, spacious, expansive. Everything finds its proper place in Him, without jostling. Fractured and disrupted pieces of the universe, people, things, animals, atoms, are well fixed and fit into vibrant harmonies. Ricky sits at his desk, scrolling on his laptop and smartphone while downloading something on his iPad. Now you don't care about my privacy, get lost! A dusty desk lamp throws a badly distributed light beam, causing a multitude of shadows to line up like crooked sentinels on the dirty wallpaper. Finish downloading, you piece of crap! Outside a small window, legs regularly pass through the falling snow in the evening light, plus the occasional badly maneuvering cyclist. Not true! Ricky's keyboard goes clickety-clack. That'll tell him! The floor is littered with tissues, near empty bags of crisps, and a watch with a broken strap. There is a bulletin board covered in conspiracy theory prints, atheist memes, and underneath, a cutesy birthday calendar with only one date entered, saying Mum, Heart, in feminine handwriting. Some of the clippings and prints on the bulletin board are attached with pencils instead of thumbtacks. A message appears on all three devices. Ricky frowns at the iPad while his hovering hand searches for his phone. He can't find it and instead clicks on his laptop. A hysterical Christmas card from his mother appears. Roy, forgot to delete WhatsApp from my iPad and laptop. I only need it for demonstration updates. Jesus, Mom, why don't you send that stupid Comic Sans Christmas shit to the family app group? Middle-class cows. He looks again. Oh, right, this is the family app group. Great. More naivety scenes and fairy tales. Between Black Friday and the ever-embarrassing Christmas dinner, one certitude stands erect like morning glory, the meaninglessness of it all. On the radio, Merry Christmas, War is Over fades into Happy Christmas, everybody, while the DJ celebrates the sound of his own voice. Ricky groans and grabs his iPad. Better delete WhatsApp now. And here comes the sentimental sugar-coated cheese. Thanks, Mum! But what appears is an image from the Hubble telescope from 1995, taken by NASA. That's the pillars of creation, Ricky thinks. Well, I guess I learned something during all those boring lessons I slept through so well. This looks more like a kangaroo banging a rock. A link underneath the photo leads to a Wikipedia article about the Hubble-Lemaitre law, stating that galaxies are moving away from each other at a rate proportional to their distance from each other. This law, or rule of thumb, was formulated by Edwin Hubble 2 years after Georges Lemaitre published his article on the expanding universe. Whatever, Ricky mutters as he swipes the article. Below the link is a text. Big Bang, more universal than you think. Faith, philosophy, or scientific method. And underneath that, in pedantic caps, it reads, Put your hand on the screen. There's a moment in time that exists exactly between cause and effect. Less than a second, but long enough to determine the human response to an event, prompt, or command. Before he can respond to the message with reason, displeasure, or derision, Ricky's hand lands on the iPad screen. Zap! Ricky stands on a platform. Its surface feels soft. He looks down. It's like soil. He looks up. The platform is floating in space. Ricky sees stars, nebulae, and more. He turns around. There are the pillars of creation, immeasurably large. Ricky automatically steps back, as if that would make it fit into his field of vision. The platform is smaller than he thought. His arms go up. He can't find his balance and falls. A firm hand lands on his back and gently pushes him back onto the platform. "It's all right. Lower your arms," says a soft voice. Ricky looks up at his left arm, then his right arm. "I look like an idiot," he thinks. He positions them awkwardly at his sides, then carefully looks down. "Now I look like I want to shoot someone." The hand that supports him backs away. "Welcome," says the voice. It sounds like a woman. Ricky isn't sure and he turns to look. She looks like a woman, but not quite. Is it a man with feminine features? Every time Ricky thinks he knows, something makes him doubt again. Is this a nightmare? I was wide awake when I got pulled into my iPad and ended up in space, so no. Was I electrocuted by the iPad's power supply and now dead? Am I completely bloody insane? Of course I'm dreaming. I've fallen asleep. I'm lying down with my face in my own saliva with my hand still on my iPad. My hand does feel warmer. Where's the tissues? Panic hits. Oh no! In space, there are no tissues. The woman, man, person, thing, the being speaks softly, as if they know what he is thinking. Are there more beings in one body? Why am I thinking that? This is happening in your head. Like a dream, says the being, whose voice sounds like a sigh. Is that it? So I'm sleeping? No, but it's a comforting thought. Ricky's eyes widen. Yeah, really helps. Lovely. Why is this called the Pillars of Create? Ricky begins, but the being appears to look right through him. Something in those eyes makes him realize that, by comparison, his current environment is a fragment of something so much bigger and deeper. What's big? What's small? It all means nothing here. What am I doing here in my head? Ricky asks. He cautiously steps back to take a better look at the being, but it's no use. He lacks the words and concepts to name what he perceives. You're here to prepare for the investigation. Into what? The space between everything. What? In simpler terms, mythology, mysticism, mystery. Ricky's eyes explore the strange apparition as it waits patiently. He looks them up and down and up, but does not linger. Those eyes. Mythology, mysticism, mystery, he mutters, eyes narrowing. Then he shrugs. 3 words, same thing, zap. Ricky bounces through the void. Atoms go before him, super fast, though graceful, dancing around each other. An intensely flexible interdimensional union, or something. Ricky hurtles after them like a squash ball in a tiny room. Then everything stops. Ricky almost falls over while his eyes slowly adjust to a dimly lit room. He sees bars and a stone floor. A man sitting on an old, rugged chair studies him. Where am I? Ricky asks. The man, whose beaming face contrasts greatly with his environment, doesn't seem to understand. Oh, the investigation, Ricky remembers. He repeats what the being told him. Mythology, mysticism, mystery. The prisoner frowns, nods, then shakes his head. I never met him. Not as a child, nor as an adult. But I persecuted his followers. Thought he was a madman. Or worse, the son of God. My name is Paul. Ricky sees in his mind's eye the Christmas card his mother sent. I'm gonna have to stop you there, he says. Sorry, but I don't believe in fairy tales. We are merely spiritual beings trying to become human, not the other way around, Paul says, smiling radiantly. Huh? Who told you to come to me? Paul says, with a twinkle in his eye. What they say? Better call Saul, huh? He purses his lips, then extends an open palm. Zap! Ricky trudges through Bethlehem, searching for a group of travelers looking for the mysterious child. He's no longer asking if anyone knows where a woman named Mary can be found, because an awful lot of women here are called Mary. Ricky's tired, having walked for a long time. He stops to ask passers-by for information. Travelers? There's all sorts of folks coming through, for the census, you know.
Looking for a king, a baby. I think they were majors. King? Baby?
No idea.
Majors, yes. They went that way. They were following that star.
Ricky's jaw drops. Star? In space? Never would have thought of that. After a long search, the trace leads to a kind of shack. Inside, 3 well-dressed but tired travelers are marveling at a baby lying in a kind of basket. At the door stands a man wearing an apron and holding a loaf of bread. Would you like some? He asks. He breaks off a piece and hands it to Ricky. It smells wonderful. Ricky takes a bite. The baby seems oblivious of the travelers, the baker, and the hustle and bustle outside. Ricky nudges the baker. The baby, is that? They call him Yeshua, says the baker, taking a sack made of sturdy but flexible leather from his bag. And the things they are saying about him, did you know? I've heard about it, Ricky answers. He tries to think of another question, but what can he learn from people in a time like this, so naive and ignorant? The baker looks at Ricky. I'm not here so much to hand out bread and wine, but to watch out for soldiers who are on the hunt for the child. The baker opens the nozzle and hands the bag to Ricky. Here, drink some wine. It's good with bread. Ricky takes a sip from the wineskin. As the warming liquid runs down his throat, it feels like his entire body is absorbing it. Zap! Ricky opens his eyes. A tall bookcase towers over him. There are books on the floor as well. A hand reaches out to help him up. Ricky gasps. Was I knocked out? I think so. Why? You look like a ghost, the man says. Ghost of past, present, or future, Ricky mutters. The man raises his eyebrows. Have you been drinking? Yeah. Ah well. My name is Georges Lemaitre. I am a priest, astronomer, cosmologist, mathematician, and physicist. Ricky looks at the man, confused. That's nice. Oh yes, and I'm a Belgian too. Oh? Ricky squeaks, then laughs hysterically. The priest lays a hand on Ricky's shoulder. There is a scientific understanding and a theological understanding, but I think it may present a risk for a mathematician to venture outside of his field. Huh? Why did you come here? A life full of conflict, uncertainty, and disappointment flashes through Ricky's mind, and he bursts out, Because I'm a no-good waste of space loser! Why do you say that? I don't! That's what everybody else says about me. Then it is good for you to listen. What? Why? Listen carefully. It's not about you. Nothing is about you. They are trying to tell you something about themselves. The priest pulls up 2 chairs and gestures for Ricky to sit down too. So why are you here? The child! The being in space! Paul in pris... Ricky runs his hands through his hair. Crap! You're nuts and I'm going psycho. I think it's best if you don't get too distracted, says the priest. He picks up one of the books from the floor and hands it to Ricky. Observe, he says. Ricky opens the book. The priest shakes his head. Zap! Ricky looks up and down, left and right, and mumbles. Words, worth? He's back in space. but somewhere else entirely, and he's wearing a spacesuit. Through the visor, he sees something like an explosion, frozen in time. Or maybe not altogether motionless. The beauty, the splendor, the colors, the depth, it's all too much for him. What is this? The being appears. Creation, evolution, growth. The light is intense, even through the visor. How many colors are there? The being continues. Transformation, expansion, expression. Do you want more words? How about lining up words to make a sentence? This is all a bit vague, Ricky says. The being appears to light up. The last man on Earth does not see broken systems, dark screens no longer transmitting, the continued illusions of choice or lost love. The last man sees that there is no other. Ricky swallows. Too much? The being asks. Kinda. Is that why you wear the suit? What? I didn't put this up. I don't even have a spacesuit. The suit disappears. Now it's just Ricky and the tracksuit he likes to lounge in. On the being's face, coming out of some unimaginable depth, something resembling a smile appears, like Paul in prison. Ricky is close to fainting. Love is the beginning of everything, says the being. Love is how the universe dances and descends amidst the cruel games of thrones to express themselves with the innocence of a child. A good teacher does not teach you what to see, but how to see. And here it begins. I will forward you again. Space appears to dissolve, or become smaller, or is pressed together within... Ricky can't put it into words. But the investigation, I haven't even started yet. As Ricky decreases, the being's eyes seem to sharpen. A realization hits him. They look like his eyes. Good. The voice blows like a wind through Ricky's entire being. Begin. Zap! Ricky lands with a thud, like coming out of a dream. His laptop screen still shows the pillars of creation. He becomes aware of the stuffy space that is his room. Everything feels so small, so limited, so cramped. Was that all real? My hand feels warmer. The hand moves from iPad to cheek. Where's the tissues? A box full of Christmas decorations and a nativity scene, a present from his mother, has fallen off a bookshelf stacked with knickknacks. The floor now looks like some kind of fantasy battlefield. Ricky considers the fallen nativity figures among the baubles and garlands, the three majors, a dislodged baby Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. On the radio, an obscure mix of space oddity plays, in which David Bowie sings that it's time to get out of the space capsule. Ricky shakes his head. I'm no atheist. I'm a killjoy who uses simplistic memes to mock my mom's romantic outlook on life. Not everything is about me. Ha! What a relief. Ricky grabs his coat and goes outside. His laptop goes into sleep mode.
Stardust for a real world. Shadows on the moon sky. all going to